Already. Good evening, Claudio. How are you doing?
Hi, Wellington. I am fine. And about you?
I'm good too. Isn't the first time that you are in my meeting? Yeah, I guess I already saw you maybe once or twice. I guess twice.
So, for you, it's the first time, but in the platform Talk, I believe that I am about 20 days.
How much? Sorry, I didn't listen you.
20 days.
10 days. It's good. And how did you discover TNT? It was
Uh,
from LinkedIn, Instagram.
one, one friend of another group called Marlon said me about the platform, and I saw in YouTube, and I enjoyed the promotion in the end of September, I believe.
Yeah, from R$ 7. It was this one.
Yeah, I paid 23 reais because I lost the promotion of 7 reais.
No
So
worries.
I am thinking very interesting the platform, but I have crítica.
Go on. It's always welcome feedbacks that we have here.
Some, sometimes when the mates stay alone, only alunos, I believe that it's a little bad because me, for example, for
Mhm.
example, there there are a problem. I invent words. I mixing Portuguese and English, and sometimes I aportugueso my English. I said words that not exist. Okay, and there are someone to correct me, but
Yeah,
it's very good for training your English. It's very good.
that's good. Before I say a little bit about this, let present myself first. My name is Wellington, as you can see here, but you can call me Well. I am here at Talking Talk for about 3 years and 4 months, and as a host, 3 years and 1 month, maybe something like this. And I am living in Rio, but I was born in Salvador and raised there. I just moved here because of my work, and then I am staying in Rio de Janeiro for I don't know how much time. I'm a civil engineer, but I do not work in the area. And I discovered Talk and Talk because I was looking for improving my English because I would apply to be a consultant, but in the middle of the time I just changed it. Actually, another opportunity appeared and I become a planning analyst, and it's so. And when I started here, uh, just like you, and it was a little bit different. We have less meetings that we have now. We didn't have the initiate meetings and classes as we have, and we used to have more people, a lot of them. My first meeting that I participated, it was the most full meeting that we have. We had 84 people
Mhm.
participating. And
Ah,
at this time, I guess we have only 5 or 6 hosts, counting with Philip that nowadays is not a host. So at
mhm.
that time, he had to like split in small rooms, how we do it. those days, but we have a lot of more new people participating. And to me, the experience it was really good, even though I was like a little bit ashamed and afraid. It was my first time, and just like you, a friend of mine present Talking Talk to me. Just because of that, I joined. Because if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't apply to come. And in the room that I was, it was a participant that was in Talking Talk for about a month or two, something like this. And this person helped and the conversation goes and grow. And to me, I took like 3 months to become a host. And it was something that I was looking for to improve my English, to improve communication skills, leadership, and a lot of things because you have this opportunity. And it's something that I always said here in Talking Talk, that is not a class. We know that it's not a class.
Mm-hmm.
And this process of feeling afraid, having problems to talk, and doesn't have someone to correct you, actually breaks a psychological thing that you have in mind and opens you to try more, because if you have someone always correcting you, you will not have self-awareness about your English because most part of the time you will study by yourself and you have
Mm-hmm.
to pay attention when you are committing mistakes. And here at Talking Talk, as you don't have a teacher, you normally pay more attention for what you say and what the others say to out-correct yourself. So
Yeah.
sometimes when I was participating, I said something and I was paying attention to the others, and they say something similar to the same thing that I said, but in the correct way. And I was, oh my, I committed this mistake, and this was the correct word and the correct way to say. And
Mm-hmm.
then when I had the opportunity again, I could say it right, It's a totally different method. And I know that is really easier when we have someone as a host that it has experience because it's really bad. We have a conversation with some strangers with a topic that we are not used to. And if it doesn't have someone to guide this conversation, sometimes doesn't flow really well. We can have someone talking a lot and so people talking less. But I guess with the time and when we have a lot of people that are participating for a long time, people used to help each other more and feel freely,
Mm-hmm.
and this part of, you said that a portuguesar or the English to use the words, it's totally normal. Sometimes we just blink the words and forget everything, even in English and nor in Portuguese to talk. So it's pretty normal. And when you have any doubt, you can ask to the others, to the students. Most of them used to uh, like help with the words or use Google Translate to correct after. I guess it's part of the process. It's like changing the mindset from what we are used to learn from how is here. And this way, this collaborative way, I think will help more in the mid and long time journey of study that the classical one that we have. But I totally understand you. To me, in the beginning, it was kind of strange, but with time, I guess these kind of uh, change the mind. And
Yeah, yeah. It's
if
a,
I
it's a,
say something that you don't understand, just say to me. Sometimes I get excited and start to talk really fast, so I
yeah.
can I can
So
speak slowly.
it is a mentality. Yes, you're right. But you are right. I'm sorry. But it's very hard because I studied a long time. I studied for 9 years and I try every ways to learn English. I did course with particular teacher. I teach course in school. I try course. I did 4 online course of English. I did Inglês do Zero. I did English of Teacher Matias. I did a little Mário Vergara, but I don't like. And I did a course about instrumental English, and I didn't like. So I try a lot of ways to learn English, and my speak don't develop it. And I am no. I stay a little anxious because it's very hard and very bad. You try learning and don't develop it your speak and your understand is a little, but it's the process. I need
Yeah,
practice
totally.
to better. Okay.
Yeah, and as you said about this, and are just you and me and I here on this conversation, and it's good. It's because it's about resilience, and you said a lot of methods that you tried to
Mhm.
study in English and improve shows that you have it. And like to me, I felt just like this. Uh, I have studied actually in two different places at school that was like in a different way that they teach in school, just like in the courses that we normally paid. So my classes were all in English, and that helped me a lot. And then when I started work, I paid to do a course, a traditional course, but at the university that I studied because it was cheaper, you know.
Mhm.
And there I was like, my gosh, I'm spending my money here, and it's an important part of my money. So I must practice and study. And in all the time that I had opportunity to talk, I talk it. And normally, and I studied like at night. I
Mhm.
worked, I was doing university and doing English courses.
It's
So
very
it
hard.
was very hard and it
Yeah.
was expensive. So I was, if I had the opportunity to talk, I would talk. So I were I were always talking. I was always talking to the in the classes to the teachers. Always that I have opportunities because if I didn't talk, I couldn't improve myself. But
Yeah.
at that time, when I studied at night, my colleagues, they were just like me, adults that didn't have so much time and was studying English in pain, in an expensive place. So they interact a lot, and this was really good. But when I went like in the Saturday morning, it was a lot of teenagers that the parents were paying, and they didn't participate. But I didn't care too much about this because I could talk to the teachers and I could like enjoying a lot. So I think that the first thing that we can do is like enjoy all the opportunities to talk as we have, just like you are doing here, participating on Talking Talk for almost 1 month. And I hope you keep going like for 1 year, two and more to improve
Mhm.
that these like changes you, you know, you don't feel like more afraid of committing mistakes. Probably I commit some
Mhm.
mistakes here while I was talking, but when you talk to another person, what matters is the understanding. I don't know if you have had opportunity to talk with someone that is from United States or another country in English? Do you have? And how it
Hmm.
was for you?
I don't understand the last part what you say.
Did you have the opportunity to talk with people from another country in English
No.
yet?
So in fact, I have a friend that lives in. She lives in England, Union Kingdom, and she speaks very good Portuguese. If you meeting her, you will be you you will very espantado with the that Portuguese of her. But so I speak in Portuguese with her.
I got it.
I don't I don't enjoy the chance of speaking English with her.
Yeah.
That's it.
Here at Talking Talk during the pandemic, I guess in the first year, we have some people we still having some people from another countries, like from
Mm,
Argentina, Chile, Colombia, Italia, Angola, also China. And when
mm,
you talk to them in English, like sometimes the accent it's pretty hard to understand,
mm,
but they also commit some mistakes, and we too. But it's pretty easy to communicate because they just don't care if you are committing any mistakes
mm,
because they are learning too. And I guess yeah, this is an impression that I have, like studying, seeing some videos that people from those countries that speak English, they doesn't care too much if we commit mistakes, you know? They just
mhm,
understanding and keep going the conversation. I talked once with a guy here in Rio de Janeiro, and he's from United States.
mm,
And I could keep a conversation with him like so, like really well.
mm.
I don't have so much vocabulary in overall things, but I guess talking about daily routine or something about life, what you can enjoy in the city, it's pretty easy. And when yeah, if he's a nice person, when they realize that you are not so used to speaking in English, they like talk more slowly to you or repeat the
Mm.
things without any problem. So I
So
guess with time and those opportunities, you will see that's not so bad.
okay, but how long time do you study English?
I have studied for like 2 years in the high school and then more 3 years and a half. And when I finished it, I became stopped like just reading and watching
Mm.
things for 1 year, and then I went back to here to talk and talk for
So you study about 7 years, okay?
yeah,
So we
pretty
speak
much is
very well, and there are a lot of vocabulary, but I committed the mistakes. Only study, don't speak. It's very bad for someone that want to to be fluent. Speak is very necessary, and I don't speak. I lost some opportunities to speak some people. For example, my friend Joana, I speak in Portuguese because your Portuguese is very well. You don't see accent in her Portuguese is impressive. And uh, I see my series and my movies in English, but with sentences with legends, no.
Subtitles.
Yes, with subtitles in Portuguese, and it is a mistake too because you don't learning English. You are read hearing English, but you are understand in Portuguese. It's not good. And I am trying better my English, but it sometimes I stay a little frustrated because I don't understand and I can't speak. I can't form the idea in English. It's very frustrating, and I stay angry sometimes with me myself. Okay, but that's it. It's the process, and I can or I need do what is necessary. That's
Yeah,
it.
I totally feel you. And like, what is your main motivation to keep studying English and be like resilient in this path? Why do you study English? What are your main reason?
So I begin studying English because I want to give a certification called CCNA is a network certification of Cisco. This certification is uh, I don't know how to say reconhecida
Recognize it.
mundialmente. Yeah, recognized world in the world, and the test is totally in English or Chinese. I prefer to do it.
Yeah, it's
And
much better.
yeah, and I begin study about it, and because I am graduating management network, and it's very necessary English to can good opportunities of work, and I I begin about it, but I like English and I want to be fluent because I like to watch my movies and my series in English, and I would like understand everything. So I I want to be fluent, and about it, I continue studying English. That's it.
That's really good. And I don't remember if you said how long have you been studying English?
So I study English about 9 years. I
A
did
long time.
2 years. Yes, I did 2 years with particular teacher, but I don't like the method that this teacher used because she used how based off the learn the English essential grammar. Do you know?
Yeah,
And I studied a lot of grammar, and I don't practice and I don't reading. So I studied 2 years in this form. After that, I begin study online and alone. So I begin follow a lot of teacher, and it was a very big mistake because begin study a lot of subjects, and I don't have sequence anything. I did it about 3 years. After that, I know Joana and Luis, and Luis is fluent now, is teacher, English teacher, and Joana studied in British Council, and she helped me a lot. She teach me the structure and how to form sentence in English. And after that, I begin listen the podcast Inglês do Zero of Teacher J. Do you know?
Yeah,
This podcast is the best thing free in internet. He give the everything you need to speak English until intermediate session level. I'm sorry. So after that, I did the course of Jader Leves, em inglês do zero. I did everything, all course, and I better my English a little. So after that, I did the course of Teacher Matias. Is a very good course. But when I begin it, I believe that I did a big mistake. I only study. I don't practice uh, nem sozinho. Eu só estudava.
got it.
And about it, I begin talk. So I studied English about 9 years, and I practice um, 1 year in the maximum.
I got it. And what could what kind of advice could you give to the people to like you look for a lot of different methods and you could really understand what on them could work for you and could not, you know? Normally some people just give up and doesn't know what works or not and doesn't look for something that fits them.
Okay.
What kind of advice could you give to people like to perceive and realize what works for them and keep on this path of learning?
So um, I give to people run to the grammar. The people need worried learn and practice. Uh, Think about your day. Think about your routine or their routines. I'm sorry, your is your and there is okay.
Yeah,
So their routine, practice a lot. Don't afraid to be committing mistakes and speak a lot in every every opportunity that you can speak because you will learn speaking and don't studying. It's more important speak what study because speaking you will persevere with your need, improve, and after speaking you study and not the contrario.
yeah. totally. I would say the same as you. And like you said that you want to do the Cisco task is from security area, yeah?
Yeah, yeah.
And do you think like that in somehow the way that you deal with studying English is the same way that you deal with the other things like perceiving and things like this? Do you think that, let me redo the question. Do you think that people to do a good job of in studying English and improving their English is the same that doing another things on our lives, like working, doing exercise, is the same thing?
No, but, um, definitely not. Because the English is the English that you need studied about a test, for example, about the test of CCNA or the test of certification CCNA, is totally different about the English that you study about communicate for communication. So the English that you study about CCNA is English very technical, and you will understand very better the subjects about internet, subjects about network, subjects about segurance in English. Okay, but you study about your daily routine, your necessities. You can communicate with people another campus and another companies, but this English don't serve about the technical situations. Okay, that's it.
I got it. And you said about like Joanna that is a friend of yours. And I don't know if you have someone because you said about her, and I think she maybe is for you an inspiration of learning. But do you have anyone else that inspires you, like in learning that you see like a model for you to follow on this path of learning, not just English, but the other things too?
Yeah, it's very hard. With Joanna, I learned that some people there the yourself way to learn. Joana, for example, learn Portuguese, speak with boyfriend, and she speak with him a lot, and will she 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 will understand in the learning, but she don't study a lot about the language. She studied after she speaks, and I understand is a very good teacher, because she is graduate in British Council, and the British Council there are a program that uh, intend um, I forgot the word, distribuem or massificar the aprendizado of English, written English in the world.
Yeah,
And cada aluno lá da British precisa conseguir pelo menos 5 estrangeiros para fazer um trabalho de ensino.
Correct.
But
Yeah,
uh, in this time, she wasn't, she was not teacher. So she don't how to learning, to don't know how to learning. And now she is a very good teacher, and she working 3 platforms of learning of English. And your um, o, a síntese de aprendizado dela foi no português, tanto que ela teve que ir para Portugal para terminar o curso dela e voltar para a Inglaterra, né? Então, assim, ela se especializou em português e hoje ela sabe muito bem português e ensina inglês mundo afora. That's it.
yeah. I think that when person learns a new language become easier, like to teach their own language and also to learn another languages. And it's
Yeah.
good when we have someone like this that is a reference because we know that it's like possible improved in learning and what is better for us or not. And yeah, well, let me keep here with the questions. And thinking about now, I will forget about learning English a little bit and focusing on other things.
Okay.
Do you have ever, like, in your life, experienced something that didn't have the end that you like it, but after a time becomes something better for you? Like, can I give an example? For example, a job that you wanted, but you couldn't apply, but after a time you find a better one, or in a course that you want to do but didn't, and you came to a different path. Do you have that? How do you see this on life? How important is it? Find another opportunities.
I don't had a situation about it. If I understand every question, it's very hard for me because I don't have a lot of difficult with another courses. For example, in CCNA, I don't have a lot of experience, but I can finish the course. CCNA course, CCNA, there are academy called Net Academy, and this Net Academy, there are the statistics that when people begin and 4 people finish the course, and that 4 people, one can certification.
It's really
So
hard.
it, yes, it's very hard. And I don't have a lot of difficulty. I can do it, but about English is very hard. I don't know how to say. So the situation that I have or I had a lot of difficulty was the learning English.
I
That's
got
it.
it. And on this CNA that you said, like there was a method, it was you're from the math area, from exatas, I see.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it's just like me. Normally language, when we don't have a method to follow, just like this, like math, 1 plus 1 it's equal to, so you have a path, you have a logic on the things, but when doesn't have so much logic in everything, it's difficult to like
Yeah.
join all the puzzles and make, everything works. I also feel like this. And to me, to speaking English better, it was necessary to think less about what I was supposed to say and do. So nowadays, it's pretty difficult to me to write the things because you have to think a lot of grammar and everything else. But to speak, you don't have to overthinking so much. You just have to say, to read and to listen. It's the same. You just are doing this on like automatic pilot, and you don't have to think so much. And I think on this case, when you have to think so much, that is not a logical thing, that is not a complex problem to solve.
Mhm.
But like my mind just blow and doesn't work.
Yes, yes, about speaking English is an ability and don't a method. It is very hard for me because it's like riding bike. You can't understand or you can't riding bike in only reading or only studying. You need practice and you need to do it. So you can understand, for example, networks or about programmation only study is very easy because you study a method, you study a command, you study a sequence, and you learn. English, no. English is necessary you practice and you better your accent and you to do understand. Makes understand is very hard for me. I believe that.
Do you think that without a clear goal, could you like weather the storm? It's like deal with difficulties. Without a clear goal, could you weather the storm?
I don't understand. I'm sorry.
Without a clear goal, without a clear objective, could you deal with all those difficulties that appears on the process of learning? What do you think?
I think so. A little difficult because sometimes how now I don't understand every sentence. For example, now I don't understand every aspect.
Yeah, I guess it's part of the process. Let me say this in Portuguese this time. Você acredita que sem um objetivo claro seria fácil estudar o inglês? Sim, continuar estudando?
Yes, yes, I definitely yes because I like English and I want to be fluent. So for me, I will try until end my life, but I will be fluent. Okay, but it's necessary a lot of time or no. Uh, Maybe with this change of study of method of study that I can speak a lot. I can better. I am trying, but until now I don't. ahn, eu não achei ainda um jeito de desenvolver isso, entendeu?
I got it. But you said that without you could, but actually, this point of view that learning that you like, it's a clear objective, so you really want to do. I don't know if someone that doesn't like English could like try and learn better or would like this.
Mhm.
And it's really important to like the things that you do. Sometimes we can do things really well that we don't like. It's totally possible,
Yeah,
but becomes boring to do. I do think so. But
yeah,
it's completely a process. And like, do you think that this is different in different ages, in different times of our daily life? For example, do you think that two kids, it's um, to kids, not to teenagers, for example, it's easier to keep trying and doing even though they didn't
yeah.
like different from adults. What do you think that becomes different days on the
Yes, I
ages?
think that is more easy to teenager or kids learn English or another language because they don't have uh, fixed a lot of ideas in your brain, and they are learning everything. They don't have the problems that adulted them there. And for example, I work a lot when I begin studying English. I was doing my graduate, and so I work 8 8 at uh, 5 p.m. So after that, I go to the college, and another day I go to the English class. Uh, the before my job. So it was a very tiring.
Yeah, totally.
When when you are young, you have a lot of time. So it's more easy and less tiring. So I believe that teenagers there are many situations that favorece the learning. Okay.
Okay, got it. Yeah, you said something that it's really totally true, like about the problems and the time that we don't have. Even between adults, those that have like a job that is like more predictable, they have a routine, more fixed and less thing to do. It's easier to them to like dedicate time to doing those things and studying a lot. And what do you think like about how is to deal this routine? Like it's necessary to study in English to work. I don't know if you are married or have kids and take care of home. How is to manage all of this?
Yes, I am married and I have 3 kids. So it's very hard because you need time to your studies and you need time for your family. So I became a ausent father sometimes because it's very hard. You work and you study and you to learn another English, another language. I'm sorry, but the people, the person that want to do it need a big organization. and the people will be ausent a lot of situations, unfortunately. For me,
Yeah,
that's it.
time just have 24 hours and we have to choose our battles.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it's necessary for to give uh, more comfort and good situation your relatives. Okay?
totally. Yeah. Yeah, like money matter a lot, and English helps a lot to us to improving in career. Like you are trying to get a certificate that is really important, and if you had this, you are more. Oh my gosh, I forgot the word in English. Um, destacado in the market, when you have this, it proves in somehow that you have this knowledge, and it's really important. It's like in English, sometimes we just choose some courses to have the certificate because it's necessary, but it's totally possible to learn by yourself nowadays with internet. I guess
Yeah,
became easier to do. But what matters in the end is if you have or not the knowledge when it's necessary to apply. Yeah. Do you think that it become easier to you nowadays when you look the things on internet by yourself, or it was better when you have the classes with someone, or it's a
so
completely different thing?
a little different thing because we are educated to learn presential. My generation was educated to go to the school.
Yeah.
So for me, don't have I don't have difficulty with online study, but I prefer presential study. But online is more easy because don't there aren't locomotion and is there something not cultural but in fact is the something. But for me, I prefer the presential education.
Do you think that
But I study in internet without problems.
it, I think that, like I said, is something from generations. We are like use it to study face to face, to have books, to see the things without.
Yeah,
But I also think that we have less distraction then we are studying online because like you can have pop-ups, you can receive notifications all the time when you are
yeah,
trying to study, can show advertising and a lot of things that you could not concentrate in just one thing. So studying,
yeah,
overcoming things, you need to be focused a hundred
yeah.
percent on the things or will not work, you know.
For example, when you are studying English in your home, your son are uh, pedindo something. Father, I want to soda. I want to dinner. I want to blah blah blah. And when you are in school, you're only studying. So it is the benefício of presential study. And when you are studying online, there are this problem.
I got it. Claudio,
Okay?
we just have like more 3 minutes, and before we finish here, I sent here the survey. what you
Mhm.
said, it's really important. And if you want to give the feedbacks there about this in general, that you said
Mhm.
about the hosts and about this meeting too, we kind of said about the topic, but in a different way, because there
Yeah.
are just two of us here. So I think it's interesting. Normally, I don't follow the questions. I just bring them because sometimes it's necessary to split the rooms. And when we doesn't have a host or someone that are used to talk with others, it's necessary to have some questions to guide the conversation, or
Okay.
the conversation will not work. So, but in a different way, we talk here about resilience, trying again, understanding our goals of that is necessary focus, and that in some things we will be better and faster, and in others we will have a different um, velocity to get it. But when we have a focus and an objective on those
Mhm.
things, it works. And that is a lot of challenge that happens to us, so every person is different. So when we have a different situation, we go in a different path, and the age matters because of the responsibilities and the things that we need to deal. And in English, it's just like in everything else that we do in our lives. I think so. And I think that you agree with me. I hope that
Yeah.
you improve a lot your English, and I can see you in another meetings more and more often for 1, 2, 3 years here, and you can talk with Joanne in English totally without any shame of committing mistakes. I guess this is the best part of the process. When you are not afraid of committing mistakes, you just talk and can improve and do. And when you get your CNA, please come here and say that you finish it. I would like to know.
Thank you, Wellington. Today I had a particular class and a therapy about learning English. Thank
Yeah,
you for hearing me, and I like a lot this class. Thank you.
thanks for your Claudio. And we used to say that these meetings at 9, it's talking therapy, because it's a lot of people that are tired, and we always bring deep things to talk. It's good to
Yeah.
talk. And in English is better because we improve.